Hey guys, it's Mruwat here with Team Mruwat at eXp Realty, and I have joining us today John Mayhue with First American Mortgage, the mortgage expert. Today we wanted to go over some of the pros and cons of owning a home versus renting. So John's going to join us today. He has a great scenario for you. So thank you so much, John, for joining us.
Micah, for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we were talking about one of the investors that you've worked with, which I think is just a prime example. So, give us some of those good numbers.
Yes. Well, they're pretty exciting, when you look at this. And I help people all the way from buying their first house to their 100th house and to working with investors. So there's so many wonderful things about home ownership that are great. But, in the case of this renter, let's think about this renter for a minute that's renting the house from my investor. He charges this renter $1,545. But guess what his mortgage payment is, Micah? His
Oh,
mortgage
gosh.
payment is 1175 is what it
Wow,
is.
that's a big difference.
It is big. It's massive. And so that's $370. $370, guys, every single month that renter is paying extra to that investor that I have gotten a rental property, and we financed his rental property. And I mean, that's just a massive number that renter could probably be spending elsewhere if he was to buy that house.
Yeah, absolutely. And aside from just the margins there, the $300, you of course have principal that you're obtaining as well every month. So I would imagine the number would even be higher when you start calculating those numbers. So John, tell us a little bit. If you put your home on a 30-year note, of course there's going to be a lot of benefits of owning that home 30 years later versus, renting a home for 30 years.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of them. Some of them, a lot of people realize as the obvious one of I get to paint the walls, I get to kind of make it my own, change the carpet, put in tile, or whatever the case is that they may want to do. But there's so many other benefits, like tax benefits, that they're going to get to write off all that interest. They're going to maybe get to itemize on their tax return. So not only are they saving compared to what they'd be paying in rent, but they're creating an asset that's going to appreciate over time, meaning historically that house is going to be worth more in 30 years, much more than what it was when they bought it. And they'll have that owning it free and clear at that point. And then tax benefits, all those many years of the interest that they can write off against their tax refund, which, guys, all that means is more money in your pocket.
Well, and not to mention even, interest rates potentially on the rise.
Yes, yes. And to speak to that, the cost of waiting, my goodness, a person buying the exact same price house now compared to waiting just a year or two with what the market kind of views of what interest rates are going to do, that same exact house at the same exact price. That means if the seller didn't raise the price in a couple of years, that could cost that home buyer $300 more a month. And so the cost of waiting could really be crucial. I mean, now is the time to buy. Rates are low. We're in a wonderful market here.
Well, thank you so much, John. I mean, you definitely hit about the interest rates as well as the tax benefits. Now, one last benefit that a lot of home buyers don't realize is the importance of the homestead exemption. So, John, would you mind maybe highlighting some of the benefits of having that homestead exemption on owning a home versus you would not have it if you were leasing a home?
Yeah, Micah, that's really important. I'm so glad that you brought it up. And you and your team and the title company partners that you use are always so good to make sure that every home buyer has that form that they get set up with. And we were talking about tax benefits a minute ago. And yes, it saves you a little bit on your taxes, which is always great. Extra savings is wonderful. But the more important thing that I want all the viewers today to know is that they cannot take your home from you. So if they were ever sued or they were in a lawsuit or whatever the case may be, they can take everything else, all your money, all your bank accounts. Potentially, you could lose everything, but they cannot take your home from you. So that's, as you know, and as we really make sure our clients know, that's the important piece of the homestead exemption.
Couldn't be more important to be able to protect your personal home. So those were some great highlights. Again, on purchasing a home versus renting. There's, of course, a lot of benefits to home ownership. And John, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. It was very informative.
Micah, thank you for having me. I always enjoy getting to visit with you and shed some insight into our community.
Thank you, John.